Yo, 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 it's First Given here, looking like I have a main quest for you thanks to the sun. So we are gonna be starting off our daily Diablo Immortal videos for the last 2 weeks before release. If you wanna see the countdown, check out the video above. We are gonna be doing rundowns of the main and most important parts of the game. So hit subscribe, hit the bell button to get notified whenever the next video drops. Then strap yourself in as we are good to go. Let's jump into video number 3 out of 3 on factions, guys. So link above to the first video where we've talked about the factions in general and adventurers, and in the second video we've talked about the shadows. Just a quick recap, there are 3 factions in total, 2 of which are battling it out. One of these are the shadows and the other ones are the immortals, who we are going to be talking about today, and the third ones are the adventurers, who are sort of staying out of this whole ordeal. Cool, so let's look into how to become an immortal. So there are basically only 2 ways here, one of which is to be the part of the Dark Clan who overthrew the previous immortals, or by invitation. Not much bigger room there, like how it is in the shadows, where you can just randomly become one through luck, through the lottery. It's hard to become one and just as hard to stay as one, as the numbers are limited, and if you don't deliver on expectations, you will basically find yourself kicked out to make space for other stronger and more capable players. It just makes sense because everyone in it to get better and stronger, right? However, there are dozens of incomparable advantages to be won, so it is definitely worth the effort. Straight off the bat, for example, the Dark Clan who overthrows the previous reign gets an insane buff called the Founder's Buff, which grants each founding member a 50% magic find, 50% increased magic find, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this thing even stacks up. So a 4-man party would be able to get a 200% magic find straight up. This buff only lasts for 4 hours though, so regardless of this, even in such a short period, you can make a massive, insane use of it. This might change as well, I have to mention, because obviously all of this information we have is from the beta, so things might change in the global release. So basically, after the new immortals are crowned, they still need to complete a quest line called the True Immortals in order to unlock everything. This quest line needs to become everyone's main priority, and you can and you should get this done in the first week of downtime. Let's see some of the buffs that the immortals are getting. So basically, upon becoming the immortals, the immortal himself or herself will receive the eternal crown and 4 other crowns to distribute to 4 of his chosen lieutenants. The eternal crown is obviously the most important out of these 5, because it gives a buff to all immortals, so all immortals work towards upgrading this, and it also unlocks other benefits and challenges while also increasing max member count. So you see why is it super important. The highest buff, for example, is 32% damage and defense increase, which again is very juicy. So you can help upgrading by completing dailies, challenges, and contributing raw essential, all of which boost your weekly contribution as well, which we will talk about in just a second. But once again, this is something where you are making your faction stronger, which in turn makes you stronger, and by doing so, you also get more chances of becoming even stronger. So it's a triple stronger boost basically. All the crowns have active abilities as well, with very juicy buff, which come in handy in group-related activities such as raids and Kioms Ordeal, for example. Let's see these dailies and challenges. So first off, there are the daily goals, which are basically the Immortal Faction specific equivalent of bounties. Make sure to pick these up every single day ASAP as soon as you start your dailies, because they overlap with other game activities as well, but still prioritize these over everything else, because obviously, as I mentioned, your aim is to get the whole faction stronger overall, because that just gets you more ways to get even stronger. Some of these dailies are super easy, like
go into the town and check out the immortal statue, for example, but there are harder ones where you have to complete 1, 2, or even 3 instances of certain game modes to finish them. Another one is Kioms Ordeal, which unlocks at Eternal Crown level 2 and unlocks more levels at higher stages of the Eternal Crown. This is essentially a mini raid open to those with the elite status, which is given by the 5 in the leadership of the Immortals. It's not open to everyone straight off the bat. And another thing to keep an eye on is defending the vault. This is a super important activity. It's open for raids to the shadows every day from 12 to 10 as of beta, and it's crucial you hunt them down ASAP when you get alerted by the NPC guards of the vaults. Basically, all immortals get a in-game notification saying that the shadows are currently raiding, in which time you have to make sure you make your way to the vault and kick them out. Killing players worth it as well, because it gives you a rather rare PvP based currency called the hills. You get 30 per enemy killed, and you can get a total of 700 of this per week from this activity, so make sure to max it out each and every week. As mentioned before, all of these activities provide contribution points as well. So these contribution points are very important. Once again, basically everything you do as an immortal is very important overall, because it just helps you get stronger and gives you even more options to get even more strong. So this is to determine your ranking within the immortals and also decides your place in the vault loot pick system as well. So about this, the Immortals Vault holds amazing items along with the triple stud items, which are basically the holy grail currently in Diablo Immortal. So just a quick run through, the legendary items have 2 studs normally, and obviously they are strong as is, but you can imagine how strong a triple stud item is, which gives you an extra stud to boost your overall combat power. The way this loot pick system works is that the weekly top contributor, or if there are multiple who maxed out their contribution, because there is a weekly cap, at least there is in the first week. If there are multiple who maxed out, whoever maxed out first is going to get the first pick, and the second is going to get the second, and so on. You get the gist, right? You basically bid on an item, you pick whichever item you want. Obviously the first person is going to get whichever item they want, because they can pick whichever, and because they are the first they can get the first one, and etc. Obviously you don't want to be the lowest member, because in the end nothing's gonna left. We will go into detail on how this whole cycle of Strife is working, starting from the Shadows perspective. As basically in the beta, the first reign was fulfilled by AI Immortals, so everyone had to start off as Shadows, and it's expected to be the same on Global as well, because there are no other reasonable ways, to be fair, to make it fair to everyone. So we will have a look at how to dominate at being Shadows, what's your aim, how to become the Immortals, and what happens when the current reign is overthrown and the cycles end starts. So basically, to summarize, the Immortals are the sort of elites of the server. You need to be a strong and committed player, as otherwise you might find yourself kicked out, to make space for stronger and more committed players. As with other factions, maximize your activities to get better ranks and rewards so you can get more, and at the end of the week can request high quality loot as well. Don't ever let the vault be undefended, because that's an important thing to keep in mind, because obviously you don't want to lose your juicy items, and most of all, enjoy while it lasts, because it's not going to last forever. And boom, that's Immortals for you guys. Tomorrow comes the Cycle of Strife deep dive, and now let's go to the outro.
Make sure to press all buttons down under the video to fulfill your clicking needs until the game is released, apart from the dislike button, of course. Each view without a like and subscribe will make a Nephilim cry, which we obviously don't want. See you guys soon. Peace.